Aaron, thank you so much for having us over at your wonderful place and showing us this Peninsula style aquarium.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
We're going to see the puffer, we're going to see what the biggest jam tank that I think I've seen in an aquarium, and a lot more. But let's maybe just take a step back and talk about the size of the tank and who made it.
Yep, it's in Peninsula. It's a Waterbox 4825, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's about 110 gallons or so.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that 25 really shows, eh? I mean, that's a very good size on both sides of it, right? Because a lot
Yeah.
of them are too narrow, but here you've got beautiful extra space on both left and right side.
Yeah, and I really like that size of it too, and I got a chance to, do like a, kind of a big scape in the middle.
Yeah.
I know it's not popular these days, but I really wanted to do something like that where I can get on both sides and, look around the tank.
Why do you think it's not popular? Like, I mean, people want more.
Oh, like I just
Empty
mean like the
space?
rocks, because like
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
people do like these small little islands.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do like more rock and like have caves and like places to travel for the fish to travel through, and I think it's worked out really well.
I think so too. I'm actually now in that mode where I start to enjoy more and more of those rock walls. So I'm kind of going back to where it all started.
Yeah.
Almost. Because you've got tons of space here, and it's very natural. If you ever dove, this is kind of what it actually looks like in a lot of the oceans.
It's a bit challenging, I find, to mount coral sometimes. I have to do a lot of corals on the sides and things like that, but I think it gives you a lot more dimension too, like for lower light areas and things like that. But
So, how old is the aquarium?
I started it at the end of January 2023, so I guess it's like 17 months or so.
Yeah, so it's pretty good, and the amount of coralline algae I see on the rock is
Yeah, it's crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's painted on. It's very
Yes.
thick.
So we're definitely gonna talk about your husbandry and the philosophy on that, because for some of my tanks the coralline grows like crazy, but for some it just doesn't. But
Yeah,
this
it's
is picture
weird.
perfect.
Yeah.
What about the fish selection? Basically, what's your methodology for that?
I mean, I started as a complete newbie, so I really didn't have one when I started, but I think I arrived early on that I wanted to get a lot of working fish.
Yeah.
So most fish in the tank have a purpose, minus the puffer.
What's going on with the foxface? And
It does that all the time. It doesn't like new people.
Yeah.
She just does that.
Is that
She's
magnificent?
fine.
Is that a magnificent one?
No, it's just
Yellow one, right?
a yellow one, yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's upset.
It's amazing how much they change color when they're kind of stressed, right? And,
Yeah.
it's kind of playing the hide and seek where as long as you close your eyes, nobody knows where you are, kind of thing. Right?
Exactly. If no one's near the tank, she's out and about and
Yeah.
yellow, but right now not so much. But
Yeah. Sorry. So copper band, I'm sure. Does it eat like pests or aptasia? Like, I mean, have you seen any of that? Or
no, I don't think so, because I also have a filefish in here.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have any aptasia when I put that one in. But yeah, I don't need to anyway worry about it, because that one eats really well.
Yep.
Just eats like a pig actually. But yeah, so it's doing great. It's one of my more recent ads though. I only got her about maybe a month ago. And same with the long nose.
So I'm new to this long nose over here. So
Yeah, the long nose.
Oh.
The long nose. Sorry,
the band,
butterfly.
right? So yeah, the
Yeah.
butterfly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen those in the hobby. Like, this is probably the first tank where I actually see the long nose. This is the one we're talking about
Yeah,
here.
he's great. That's a great fish too.
Yeah.
See, he really picks at the rocks. I like the rock pickers.
Yes, for sure.
Uh,
I mean, keeps everything clean. To your point, it's utilitarian, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why I got the damsels. Those
Yeah.
springer eyes, just in case they ever any pests, they're there to take care of it, and that's what I try to do anyway. Hopefully it works.
Okay. What about this beautiful butterfly?
That's a goldfish. That's a gold flake angel.
Sorry, angel.
Yeah,
Angel,
yeah.
Yes, goldflake.
Yeah, that's a biota actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's
Captive.
captive bred.
Yeah, he's great. Surprisingly, he was the most aggressive with the copper band. I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised by that. But yeah, it's a good
And
fish. Yeah, he's a good
how
fish.
is it per coral?
I see him nipping at chalices,
Yeah.
but but doesn't really hurt it at all. Just sort of puts his mouth around it and moves on. You
Hmm.
know,
I
but he's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, we also have some Anthias. I love what you did with that little kind of nook there for all the fish to hide, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very natural.
Yeah, it works really well, and they just pass through. This one is getting a little covered up, but you can go through that one as well at the bottom.
Yes. I
Mushroom City over there, but
I absolutely love it. Like this is the way to do it, in my opinion. Like it's very natural. Like this is kind of you giving me a lot of ideas for my tank because I've still working on the aquascape, but I think I will borrow some
well,
of
thanks.
that.
And also here, you
Yeah.
can go through this way, and also around
Yeah.
that rock,
Yeah.
and this one as well.
Oh
So
wow. Yeah. So
lots of
lots.
hiding spots. Yeah.
Nice. So it's not just piles of rock put together. Like, you actually thought this one through a fair bit, eh?
I don't want to give myself too much credit because it really, you know how it is, right? You're just like piling rock and you're trying
Yeah.
at the same time, but then it just gets overwhelming and just,
Worked
Yeah.
out. I love how you also left some space in the back here. So I guess for the flow and also I guess for the fish to move around in circles.
Yeah, I ended up like when I first started, I really had struggled with coral placement, but I ended up putting the torches there. It worked out best because
Yes.
I had a hard time finding a good spot for them where they get enough light and flow. Like I always had too much flow,
Yes.
right? But they seem to really be happy there.
No, I absolutely love it. I love the cleaner Russ.
Yeah, he's also a biota,
Oh wow.
so no problem with eating on that one. So
Okay. I like that. And here's the filefish all the way in the back there. I like the green color on this guy.
I love that fish. I know they're ugly, but I love him. He's super cool.
He is.
Yeah, we call him Chuck. He's a really cool fish. I like him a lot. Very resilient, and yeah,
So-
he eats Aptasia. That's for sure.
There's so many fish in such a small tank, and we have not even talked about the big fish, right? You've got the dory, so the blue tank with the yellow belly.
Yeah, I'm worried that I'm gonna have to rehome her at some point.
Yeah,
it's-
that's where it is.
yeah. I got that one as a baby, and
Oh, wow.
stuck with me from the very beginning. And yeah, it's a great fish.
Ooh, I see mandarin
I
hiding.
do have a mandarin. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it lives in there. It's it's a great fish too.
So once again, it's a testament to a maturity of the system if you can sustain the mandarin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And also you have the biggest tank, the yellow eye tank that I think I've ever seen. Like it's bigger than your yellow tank. Let's take
Yeah,
a look at
that's
it
the,
from the other side.
I call him Mr. Clean because he
Oh, yeah.
does nothing but clean.
Yeah, here's. Oh, so sorry, it's a whitetail bristlenose,
Whitetail,
right?
yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
he is gorgeous and also very large.
Yeah,
And here's the fatso. This is the
the fattest gem tang you ever seen. Yeah,
fattest jam tank. He is beautiful. I think the girth can only be noticed when you look for it. Oh yeah, like that. He's turning around just for us, just to show that. He
is the boss. Absolutely.
He's awesome. Hey. Okay, he's freaking out a little bit less, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing the personality on the fish. So I think we've covered more or less all the fish. And the star of the show, the puffer.
The puffer.
Tell me about this guy because I've never seen a puffer like this in a reef aquarium.
I know, right? It's so risky. I don't know what it was. I just fell in love with the puffer. His name's Spud, by the way. But I don't know. He's just a cool fish, and just the personality. They're almost like dogs. He comes to you.
Yeah.
You put your finger in there. He'll nibble. You'll eat from your hand. He's just a courageous fish. Nothing bothers him. He doesn't bother anybody. It's a great fish, but he will eat my coral. So that's sort of annoying. But you get used to it in a weird way.
And you have some pretty expensive and high-end corals, and yet you are willing to risk it, right?
Yeah, I'll be lying if I said sometimes I didn't get mad at him. I put him in the quarantine tank once because I got a couple really, really nice ones, and he just went straight for them. I'm like, damn you. And I put him downstairs for a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and then yeah, but I put him back. He's doing great, you know.
And we have this yellow Cordyceps wrasse. I love those guys. It's probably one of my must fish to have in any tank.
Yeah, that one I was worried about. I got him. I didn't see him for 3 weeks.
Oh.
I thought he was dead, and nope. And after that, he's been fine.
That's phenomenal.
Took him a while.
I really like the Peninsula style because you technically get 3 aquariums for the price of 1, right? I mean,
It's funny you said that because I didn't know that at the time I got it, right? I just thought, oh, just a different form factor. But no. You need twice as much coral at least than than you would in a normal tank. So you're right. It's like it's a 100-gallon tank.
Yeah.
With 200 gallons worth of coral in it.
Nothing wrong with that. So before we talk about coral, let's talk a little bit about the equipment. And I want to start with the flow because a flow, I know the some Peninsula tanks are very challenging to set up with the flow, but I think here you've done a bang-up job. What do you have?
Fancy.
Just 2 MP40s, right?
Yeah, 2 MP40s. I run them at constant as pretty much as high as I can go without being loud.
I like how you've measured the space exactly to squeeze in the dry
It was
side.
a little close, but yeah, it worked out.
Okay.
I also had an orbit. That's why you see the blank spot there.
Yeah. So,
But I just removed it. It's not. I don't like it for a couple of reasons. It causes strange water flow issues with my overflow. And it clogs up very quickly, and I don't know. I think I'm going to try to find something else.
well, I can see why, because here you've got those 2 pumps just blowing everything over here, and then you can almost see it coming back straight to the overflow. So you don't want it to be
Pushing
it back.
So what I was doing, it was having it go reverse.
Okay.
So kind of pull the water.
Yeah.
And that worked pretty well, but I don't know. I'm on the fence what to do. I do want to add more flow for sure. Especially for this area here. So I try to keep this area a little bit more softy.
I love it. And what is the mode that you run the MP40s on?
Just constant.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't even do ramp up, you don't do
No,
pulse, none of that stuff?
I thought about it. I mean, when you think about it, it's the water's hitting the edge and then coming back. So I and I look at the pattern of the polyp movement, and to me, it just didn't make a difference. So I thought it just constant.
That is incredible. And same for the other one, right?
Yeah. Both of them on constant, 75%. I do try pulse at night just to keep things, mix things up. But I don't see much difference.
Yeah,
and I want to get as much flow as I can out of these things. So constant it is, right?
Like people sometimes say, oh, you will have like wrong growth patterns or very one-sided growth patterns, but that doesn't appear to be the case at all.
Yeah, I know. I didn't really notice any, and it's all indirect flow, really.
Mm-hmm.
That was the idea with the orbit, right? Is to get some flow, a sheet of flow on the top in the middle there, right? But
wow,
I might put something on the display side because at this point I'm pretty committed to SPS, so I have to, go for flow over looks, right?
I hear you. This is this. I mean, it works very well, and I think this is the first time when I've seen somebody use the constant flow nowadays. So this is pretty cool. I'd love to see things that are not in other aquariums.
Yeah, I try to like really think about things, and because a lot of stuff I think in the hobby is sort of just out of inertia or tradition. But I don't think when you really think about it, you're like, I don't know if that really does make sense. So.
I agree. Too much in this hobby is sometimes anecdotal.
Yes, that's a good word to use. Yeah.
What about this guy? This is also long nose, but it's a hogfish or?
It's a long nose hogfish. Yeah.
Not long nose hogfish.
Yeah,
How is he doing with is he reef safe? Totally fine with everybody, or?
The only thing that he definitely will hunt inverts. Right?
Oh,
I mean, early on, I got one of those cleaner shrimp.
Yeah,
he killed it.
He loved
Which
it,
was funny though because he liked the cleaning.
Yeah,
He was the one that came for the cleaning, and then all of a sudden one day I'm watching the tank, and then boom, he attacked it. It was the shrimp was swimming, and just
He could not help it. It's in his nature. Right?
In his nature.
It's like the scorpion and the frog. There you go. So lighting, we've got
your shades on there.
Yeah, I love the visors on both the blades. and the and the radiance. So
Yeah.
what do you have for lighting here? You have two XR30.
Yep.
It's a Pro, I take it.
Yeah, they're pros. Yeah. Although I
Latest
regret
gen.
that. I think I'd rather the blues. But,
Really?
yeah.
Well,
But I think it's fine either way. Yeah, I think because I got the pros, I was able to get the glows
Yes.
for the blades, and
Yes.
it works a good combo. I think.
yes, I think so as well. So you've got two XR30 Gen 6 Pros.
Yep.
And then you have the two glow blades.
Yep.
So which is perfect. I like how you've lined it up. I like that you're using the Treasure Corals visors, which is awesome.
Perfect.
And what about the lighting schedule? Like, I mean, what do you run it at roughly?
I run it on AB Plus for the R8 Radions at 100%.
Yep.
And I run the glows at 100%. So pretty straightforward.
Wow.
You know.
So you're just set and forget, like very straightforward, simple stuff, right?
Just cook it, right?
Nice.
Yeah, the par is about, I haven't measured it lately, but I think it's about 600 at the top.
Yeah.
And maybe a little touch more than that. You know, the middle is, you're looking at around 350 or so.
Yep.
And then at the bottom, I'm, 300, 250-ish, give or take.
So pretty standard par settings, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, as we're getting to the corals, let's actually switch it to bluer so that our viewers can actually experience the tank under the blue. So this is your regular schedule. This is which part of the AB Plus? Like, when did it actually switches to a little bit more white?
Pretty soon, I think around noon or so, it'll switch over to more of the whites.
Oh my God! Okay, we have to talk about this in a second. So, but okay, let's geek out on the coral. I see a lot of SPS, but did you start out with the SPS or what happened?
No, I didn't actually. I just started getting really intrigued by it. The more you get when you're early on, you just research like crazy, and I got this. I could tell what the SPS bug was about. It's just the challenge of it.
Yeah.
And the intricacy of keeping SPS. And my early ones, I didn't do that well. And once my tank got to about 9-10 months old, everything just started to click.
Yeah.
And I just started adding them, and then suddenly, that's all I buy.
Yeah.
So it's still early, I think, but I wouldn't say I was really starting to get success until maybe October of last year. So it's not that long.
I recognize this piece. I think you got it from me.
No, actually, I didn't.
Really?
No, not that's the Princess Peach.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
slightly different coloration.
I'm struggling with the one below it. That's the one I did get from you. That's the Marvin the Martian. I cannot get Marvin the Martian. The polyps extension just goes away after a while. It's the third time I've tried it.
That is amazing because for me, this is kind of one of the simplest corals that I've never seen.
It's so strange. I know what I think it is. I think it's too much light.
Too much light, eh?
Yeah, I think it's light. I don't know. I makes no sense, right?
No.
But I don't know.
Just goes to show you, I mean, to anybody who's especially new to this hobby, some coral may do well in one person's aquariums, and then everybody has their kind of nemesis corals or some things that just will not work very well for somebody. But
I mean, my Walt Disney is just amazing, up there.
oh wow, yeah, that guy is doing extremely well. So you got the Walt Disney, and what's right next to it?
That's the Pinky the Bear.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. And it's really doing well. It's one of my earlier ones. That one right there is my new SBB coral. It's called the La Fuego.
Oh.
I just got that last week. It looks really, really good in light.
Oh, this is just beyond gorgeous. I mean, you've got some really nice high-end SPS, but also some of the more simpler ones like this needle in a haystack, which is very bushy.
Yeah, it's doing great there. I like some of the classic corals. The
Velita or bonsai.
Bonsai, yeah.
Yeah, bonsai. And
I got
what
the
about
Oregon Tort up top there.
Oh yeah.
It's very slow grower, but it loves that spot. Good PE, so
yes,
I'm happy with it.
And it's that picture perfect blue color. Right?
Yeah, it's just stunning.
Who is this guy? Is this Orange Passion?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So also looking really good. And who is this one here?
Oh, that is my rainbow loom. Just
Oh,
old fashioned.
wow.
It looks phenomenal. It really, really just color is just amazing on that coral. It's like my favorite color. Coral.
Yes. And when you say your par here is you said about 300 or even more?
No, that one's
Oh.
probably getting closer to 600.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're really cranking it there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Also, your fox flame has the yellowest tips I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
anywhere.
happy. Surprisingly, because the puffer eats it. Every once in a while, I'll see slime coming off it, and I'm like, uh-oh, there we go.
Very nice. So on this side, what corals is like your favorite? Would you say,
Ooh, that's tough.
other than rainbow loom?
Let's see. I really like the Miyagi tort.
Ooh, it's also a very interesting coloration here. Like
Yeah.
I'm finding, and I'm thinking that has to do with your flow. Everything is very dense. Like things don't necessarily extend, and probably some of it has to do with the fish, but also I think
Yeah.
with that constant flow.
Yeah.
If you were to do more random and intermittent, I think that some of them would have maybe longer but more thinner branches, which is different look.
And you know what? I really like the green slimer. I got that
Yes.
one from you from the first show I went to,
Ooh.
and
Yeah,
it did
so-
nothing for so long, and you know what's funny? The puffer ate all the polyps. It was just like this green, barely green stick. It just looked like crap, and then all of a sudden one day,
Yeah,
there it is. It's just growing like crazy. It's doing really well now.
it's a very underrated.
I love the green slimer.
Coral.
I have two of them, and the third one, which is the Abro style, right there, and that's just up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
The big one.
Oh, okay.
Right here. it is.
This guy here.
Yeah,
Is
that's-
that a green slimer as well?
That's right. It's the Abro. So it's Abronese. I forget the
Yeah.
Latin term, but
Oh,
that one's just.
wow.
I call it the polyp monster because it's just
Yes.
polyps all day long, and
I love it.
sure it's just green, but it's got this nice little bluish tip on
No,
them.
no,
and
no. It's
a great
it's
coral.
a completely different animal for sure. So I don't think I've seen that one. I'll definitely be in a queue for a frag. Milka stylo, right?
Milka, yep,
Very nice.
yep,
And this is Setosa.
yep.
Very good, I think. And I see you've got tons of different zoas.
Yeah.
Do you know all the fancy names, or you?
I have a couple of the really fancy ones. Like
Yeah.
that's the GMK's Grandmaster Cracks,
Okay, nice.
and then that one's the Stratospheres. So those are the two high-end ones.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, that one's doing really well.
Are you concerned about them kind of starting to encrust over other corals, or?
I am,
you're-
but I figured this whole little
Yeah.
this ledge I put here, I put some of the encrusters there, so
Yeah.
I can control it if I need to, or remove it, or something like that. But I tried to keep the encrusters, strategically placed as best I could. Anyway, we'll see how things. I think eventually you're screwed no matter what you do.
Yeah. Would you be able to take this ledge off, or it's?
I could, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if it'll get back on, but
It's what, putty or cement?
yep. I use putty and,
okay.
and glue and yeah.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
so just a little bit of a push, and I think this thing will snap off, kind of thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Very nice. Oh wow. So yeah, that yellow, the yellow tips on the fox flame is just insane.
Yeah,
It's very
really
well
good.
done. Well, you are, and that is one of the bigger colonies of the Walt Disney. I'm always happy to see this one in the hobby.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous.
Really happy with that piece. It just took off there.
And then we've got the torches. I like how you've kind of found that vertical ledge. It's a perfect opportunity to mount the torches, right? Because what else are you gonna put almost vertically, and that works really well here.
Yeah, they love it there. I struggled at first. You see that that leather up top, just a little piece of it.
Yeah,
So I had a humongous leather.
yeah.
I still have pieces of it in the basement, I cut most of it off, and then just little specks, and it's growing back. But it was covering that whole area, it
Yeah.
was creating a huge shade. And so I thought I'd just remove it and put all the torches there and make more room for SBS at the same time, which was really what happened.
Well, it worked out very well. And who's the guy on top? Is that the Wolverine or Pikachu?
Nope,
One of those guys?
I have a Pikachu, but that one
Oh.
is the pink lemonade.
Pink. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, pink lemonade, and the Pikachu is right over here, right?
Yep.
So very nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, your corals look phenomenal, and I like how you keep a lot of extra space for all of them to grow in. So that is usually a reason for us to do a video, say 8 months from now, just
Yeah,
to
looking
kind of
forward to it.
see on
Yeah.
all the progress. And before we're going to take a look at the sump and some of the things that run it, can you tell me a little bit about your husbandry? So first of all, what are your kind of parameters that you're trying to target?
Yeah, so alkalinity I keep around 9.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my nitrates are surprisingly very high. They're, well, maybe not because how many fish I have, but
Yeah.
the 38 I tested yesterday.
What test do you use?
I use henna,
Okay, yeah. So.
and my phosphates are 0.14.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a bit on the high side, but I don't mind high nutrients.
No.
To me, it's not an issue. I don't understand that debate. But you know, I used to get, you know what, early on I got really obsessed about it, tried carbon dosing and things like
Yeah,
that.
so-
But you know, I just let it, I just do water changes, and that's just let things go the way they are. And I test regularly, and it's stable there.
How much of a water change do you do?
I do about 20 to 25 gallons a week. So about
oh,
25%, 25%.
that's very substantial
Yeah.
when it comes to that water volume, right? But
I'm a strong believer in water changes.
Yes.
You know, but I think the struggle with water changes is that it's difficult, right? So my whole goal with husbandry is to keep the water changes as easy as possible.
yes,
You know, and so I'll show you when we get to my mixing station what I do. But
I'd love to. Because
yeah.
if you make things easy, this is when it's going to get done.
then I'll do it exactly. So I've sacrificed a little bit of maybe accuracy for efficiency. You know, so I think efficiency is sort of my mantra for husbandry. You know.
That's, in my opinion, that's actually you want to keep your focus on the more tangible things like the coral health and everything else. But maintenance, if you can simplify it and run it without even thinking, the better it is, right? Almost
Exactly.
automated.
Yeah. So every Saturday I'll do a water change. You know, pretty basic. It doesn't get too out of the ordinary from there. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't do a whole lot.
What about feeding? Do you feed your coral?
I don't.
Really?
I used to do reef roids.
Mm-hmm.
I was running GFO
Yeah.
to keep my phosphates down for
Yep.
a while. So I was kind of getting into that. So sometimes my phosphate would drop to pretty low, but then I stopped doing that, and now my phosphates are high, so I haven't bothered feeding. I probably should, but
Well, not necessarily. I
fine.
mean, especially SPS probably get enough, but also you have very high fish population, so I'm sure there is all the nutrients. In
yeah.
the,
And
water
then, I
column.
also do aminos. I do
Oh, really?
Aquapower. Yeah.
Oh, I see. How often do you do that?
I do 10 mils a day.
Oh, sweet. Is it on a dozer or
Yep.
you just do it? Okay.
Yep, I just have it on a doser. It's running from the basement up here. And yeah.
Have you tried it without aminos and with aminos, and did you notice any difference or?
You know, I'll be honest, I haven't noticed much of a difference. I just figure,
You're doing
No.
something, right?
yeah, I thought I'd try it. You know, a lot of these things are, you know, like you said, they're anecdotal
Yeah.
type things. I want to see for myself. And so I try to, once in a while, I'll try adding something and try to see how it goes. And I haven't seen much difference, but I haven't seen any negatives either, so I just left it for now.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's take a look under the hood now. You've got the sump. Is the light always on, or you just?
It's on a light sensor.
Oh, cool.
So it turns on automatically.
Oh, really? So when we open it up, this is where
It's a safe light, so it's good for this purpose as well, right?
Oh, wow. Also, I love that you have the camera in here.
Yeah, it's good to if I'm on, you know, holiday or something, I can see if my sump's running.
This is such a good idea. So you've got skimmer. You have the Chaeto.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Chaeto? Like, you like it?
Yeah, you know, it does cause problems in my sump for sure. Like, you know,
I see.
people don't talk about the fact that now you have coralline algae down here.
Yeah.
You're clogging up your bubble filter before your return. It just adds a lot more maintenance. So I don't know if I still haven't decided if the juice is worth the squeeze on that one, but
Right.
you know, it definitely helps with your CO2 absorption at night and things like that. So I'm keeping it for now.
How long you've had it running?
Yeah,
The Cheeto.
pretty much from the beginning. I struggled really hard to
Okay.
keep it, and then I find that if I don't clean my sump and get rid of all the algae in there, then the Cheeto will die off. But if I keep that sump clean, it grows like crazy.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Okay, and then you have some reactors. So there's, well, I guess one is the carbon, the nice one.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what's the Delta one?
That's a calc stirrer.
Oh, wow. I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen that particular model before.
Yeah, it runs. I started running that at night only,
Okay.
and so I keep my pH low as high as possible.
Yeah.
And then I just run my regular dosing during the day. So that's how I'm keeping my pH really stable. We
Oh,
can get into that as well if you'd like.
so instead of going up and down, you're just trying to level it
I'm
up.
trying to level it. So right now, my goal is to keep it 8.3.
Yeah.
So when my lights come on, it's 8.3 already.
Yeah.
And then try not to get too high during the day. So
I love it.
8.4, 8.42
I love it.
is my high usually.
I think it's a very good idea because a lot of right now it's a lot of times it comes up to very high, but then it always comes down. But I don't know, like in the ocean, probably things are a lot more
Yeah,
stable.
that was my mindset. The hobby is always everyone's talking about trying to get your pH up.
Yeah.
My mindset is I don't care as much about getting my pH up. I care more about the raising the low,
Yeah.
right? Which is the opposite. So in that case, I think I've accomplished that.
Sweet. And what about the dozer? Where is your dozer of some sort? Or
That's the equipment wall. We can move to that if you like.
Okay, so is that the stuff behind as well?
Yep.
Or okay. Oof, I really like what you did here. I mean, this is kind of out of sight, but for anybody who likes, seeing the equipment and also just the way it's organized is beautiful. I see you have a fan of hydros.
I really like the hydros.
Yeah.
I'm definitely planning on getting some more. I'm sort of a mixed bag right now. I got some Ecotech and then the hydros, but I realized a little late in the game that I prefer hydros over the Ecotech, so I'm going to be slowly phasing it out.
Sweet. I mean, it looks good. You've got everything nicely organized. You built the panel yourself?
No, that's just what's that? What are they called?
Adaptive reef? Or?
Adaptive reef,
Oh,
I think.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's very nice, nicely organized. You have, okay, so I see there is 4 pumps. So
That's right. So 2 MP40s
2 MP40s
and 2 M2s. The one M2 is for the UV,
Ah.
and one is for the return. And you'll see it in this side here.
Oh wow.
You can open up this side.
Yeah.
Of the,
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. So yeah,
sorry.
no worries.
This
Yeah,
one isn't open now
it's,
that I have the UV there, but
yeah.
there you go.
Oh wow. Okay. I see.
It's a lot easier to get with another thing about a Peninsula.
Yes.
Maintenance a lot better, right?
Yeah, it's you don't need to reach all the way through. My tank is 30 inches front to back, and
that's
getting
nice.
all the way in the back is a bit of a challenge. But still, like this is so nice. I also like this is one of the reasons I love the Peninsula tank is because it's so easy to work on the tank. You don't need to go as far, and you can really tend to every minute detail of the aquarium, which is gorgeous.
There's so many little aspects to it that you don't think about until you've used them. And I agree. There's some negatives for sure, but absolute positives as well.
And what would be the negatives in your opinion?
Well, flow, we covered that already. You need twice as much coral.
Yeah. To me, it's a positive.
Yeah, that's true. That is a positive. Yeah. But when you're starting out from nothing, that is a big problem.
It is.
What else? It's hard. It's little things that just I can't even think of right now. That just
I love it. Do you use the flipper at all?
I do.
So
I love
just
it.
like when you, what do you use it for? Just
viewing.
Seeing things up close, eh?
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah, it's really nice.
I have it as well. And that is one big UV, eh?
Yep, that's the 55 watt. Geez, what are they called again? Lifeguard.
Yeah, lifeguard. So,
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be probably one of the best in the industry, if not the best, right?
I think they're the most affordable, but you sacrifice space. You know, they're just massive, these things, right?
Yes.
The other ones are a little bit more space economical,
Yeah.
but I made it work.
And I like how you've done it vertical, right? Because that's apparently how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And it comes from the bottom and
Yep.
then pushes up, right?
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's not the most appealing thing to look at, but
Yeah.
it does the job. And I run it at night now.
Oh, so you don't run it all the day?
No.
Interesting.
No. The reason why I don't really is because it creates a little bit of a temperature issue for me.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
It raises my temperature, and so I'm trying to keep my temperature stable.
Yes.
And you know, especially in the summertime, I can't get it below 79 if I have it running. But
And have you always had the UV on your tank?
no, I had a dyno, issue
Yeah.
last summer, and so I decided to go full on UV. It wasn't a bad dyno issue really,
Yeah.
but
And I'm sure it went away almost immediately, right?
no, I had the amphidinium, which was the one that lives in the sand.
Oof. Okay.
So what I did was I put the M2 directly in the display, so it was ugly, and then I ran it just on the bottom, and I shook everything up constantly.
Yeah.
And then I used other small micron filters,
Yeah.
like, in tank filters, and I just really focused on just filtration, and then I used Dr. Tim's at the end and cleaned it up, and it's been fine ever since.
Fine ever since. It's I know a lot of people that use UV, and I've never used it, but practically one of the reasons is maintenance and the space, and it's all extra
Yes.
plumbing, right? I mean, like all those things come with this stupid, very wide plumbing, so you need to have all those adapters.
It's a real pain. I'll be
Yeah.
lying if I said it doesn't bother me sometimes, but I was forced to kind of get serious about it, and so now I just use it on a provisional
Yeah.
basis. I think it's good for maintaining the tank,
Yeah.
parasites and things like that, and
Also, the Fox Flame, he's doing just fine now.
yeah, a little better.
So yeah, he's doing great, and we can see he's actually is yellow
Yeah.
and fat. Which
Yeah,
is
pretty
gorgeous.
fat. Yeah,
Well, this is very neat. And how do you like your Alcatronic?
I love it. I know there's a lot of people have tridents and things like that.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the titration method because it's really, really cheap to use,
Yes.
right? And you can just run it as many times you want during a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're doing, especially if you're really concentrating on stabilizing your pH and your alkalinity,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great tool to have.
Yeah, you just have another set of eyes on the tank, and things that were not possible 10 years ago at all. So we are now in the fish room or the equipment room, and I love the Alice in Wonderland thing here. So
Yeah.
just eat a mushroom and grow smaller, and you've got stuff here. I
You
love
know,
it.
it got a little bit unruly, so I thought, okay, this space wasn't used, so
Yeah.
I thought I'd just make it into a fish storage room.
Oh, this is awesome. Ooh, and so this is your mixing containers.
That's my mixing containers. Yep.
You've
Mixing
got
station.
fresh water. You have the salt water. I
Yep.
love how you have the actual funnel, so it
Yep.
makes it easy to get the salt in.
Yeah. So what I do is
yeah.
I just do a full 50-gallon.
Yeah.
And then I just dump a bag of reef crystals in.
Yes.
I don't measure. I don't. I know it's not. I know that you're not supposed to do that, but again, it's all about efficiency for me, right? And
I
change
couldn't
half
agree
of it.
more.
Yeah.
So this is the way to do it, because then you don't need to worry about this. However, what happens when, for example, you had to use extra salt or whatever, and so now you have 2/3 of the bag there. You're just gonna put it aside and then
Yeah,
use it
that
for
happens.
something
That's
else.
happened a couple times,
Yeah.
but generally, I think I got a good system going. I eyeball it, and I have a little bit extra space
Mm-hmm.
above the 50-gallon line. So if I make one a little early, I'll just
You can
give
just
it a little extra.
add a little bit extra. Nice.
Yeah.
So nice RO. You've got all the hoses, everything. So this is your, what is that? Like this is for dosing?
Yep. So I
guess.
use the ESV
Yeah.
for my alk and calcium,
Okay.
and that goes up. That's just goes
Yeah.
upstairs,
Nice.
and then I have the magnesium on that simplicity there.
Yes.
I
I
don't
love
really
those
dose much.
containers. Like they're so awesome.
Yeah, they're great. And then I just and I also have in the back there. That's the
Aqua Power.
Yeah.
And do you stir your Aqua Power or just kind of let it run?
Just let it run.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
that Versa right there
Yeah.
does the Acro Power. That all goes upstairs.
Love it. Like this is it's so nice. It's so nice not to have a lot of this upstairs, but kind of can bring it down.
Yeah, yeah, it's worked out really well. And this is just my QT tank slash just I don't sell or anything like that. So it's
Yeah.
stuff I keep. Still got not much in there right now, but anything extra if I want to share with friends, things like that. So my,
Sweet.
you know,
And this is a separate system.
yep,
Okay.
yep. I just got this on sale. This is from Fragbox. What's the Reef Casa?
Yes,
It's a Reef
yes.
Casa. It's an
Oh, okay,
external.
cool. Shout out to Mighty March.
Yeah.
Right here. So.
And you know it's just a, and I just got a sump.
Yeah. Oh,
Simple
sweet.
sump.
So everything is self-contained.
Yeah.
I like how you know, doing the just the in all in one, but instead you have a dedicated sump. It makes things a lot easier to maintain and also more robust.
You know, I found that you know I tried the whole traditional QT system thing,
Yeah.
and I found it really stressful for me because I
Yeah.
have a fish in there, and it's just not appropriate for a fish.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just can't like, I don't know what it was. It just didn't work for me. So I needed a system that was fully cycled, and
That
it's
is
worked out
neat.
really well. And now I can just put a fish in here and not worry about it. You know.
Yeah. So and so you use this for the fish as well, correct?
Yes. So when I do my water changes, this is my last week's water.
Oh, I see. So how would you do a water change? What do you open up and?
So
Yeah.
I just take the hose.
Yes.
And I just dump it in here. So I use the
Okay.
Siche Zero.
Yes.
I just drop it in here to pull this. So first thing I do is I pull this water out.
Okay, gotcha. So
And then I just
Run-
hang the hose and run the
yes.
hose and then just use suction.
yes,
And I fill this up with my tank water from upstairs.
that is awesome.
And so that way it's always the same.
Yes.
And
You
this
don't
is
do any
the same
dosing
water.
extra, none of
No.
that stuff, right? So
Don't
which
dose
makes
anything.
perfect sense, right? You don't need that much light. There's only a few corals here, so they don't consume as much alkalinity. So
Yeah.
it's easy, gonna last a week with no problem. And you
It's
have
got,
enough
it's got
water volume,
nutrients, so I don't
yeah.
have. There's no fish. Don't need any fish
Yeah.
in here. You know.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought in that way I have the option
Mm-hmm.
if I really need to is to quarantine.
That is very nice. I'm a big believer in reusing water for the quarantine system. So
Yeah.
all of my tanks, when I do automatic water change, they all get into my quarantine system. So I always get that reuse of the water as opposed to mixing fresh.
Yeah, it worked out well for me that way too.
Very neat. Well, I really like it, and well, I like what you've done with these containers as well, with the salt water and fresh water. This is kind of very standard setup, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've got a way to mix water from one to another. And what pump are you using?
That's a Siche AC pump. I had just a Jabal before,
Yeah.
but it died on me. So I'm like, okay, I'll just get the Siche. So it's a little off kilter now because everything was made for that
Yeah.
Jabal, but I managed to make it work and whatever, it works. It's just
In
the
the
mixing
end, that's
station,
what
right?
counts. And then what is that?
Oh, that's my battery backup system.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, so I went a little crazy there. So that's all marine,
Yeah.
right? So that's
Oh,
a battery
smart.
monitor,
Yeah.
and that's a cutoff switch there, a
Mm-hmm.
master cutoff switch.
Oh, I see.
But you might find this interesting. So this
Yeah.
here is a automotive relay, right? I think it's
Oh.
I forget what it's called now, but so I
Yeah.
use the hydros.
Yes.
It's hooked up to the hydros. So when I turn that on, it'll cut off the battery for the MP40s.
Oh my.
So I don't have to unplug or anything. So
Yes.
if I want to turn everything off completely
Yes.
for a water change, I can do that and so if power goes out, the
Yes.
battery will kick in. But if I want
Yes.
to do a water change, I want to turn that off. So
Yes.
that's what that relay is for.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because a lot of times you don't want the battery to kick in when you don't want it, right?
Exactly.
Nice.
So now it
That
works
is-
great. So whenever I hit water change on
Yeah.
my hydros, it'll
love it.
turn off all the battery, and the charger's down there, and the
Yeah.
battery. I use a 100 amp hour lithium.
Oh yeah.
iron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that is very very good. I don't think I've seen that before. So I always like to record things for the first time.
Yeah, and I actually my feed mode is essentially just using the battery.
And
For
you,
the-
this way you also test it.
Exactly. I get
Nice.
to test it every day, and so I use about 2%
Yeah.
of my battery every day. Keeps the battery,
Yeah.
That's a great point. That's exactly what I was thinking. Just I get to test it every day. Just
I love
shut
it.
it off. Yeah.
Aaron, thank you so much. I've certainly learned a lot, and I'm happy, always happy to see things for the first time. And your battery backup, seeing the buffer, some of the aquarium husbandry, and also automation. There's quite a few ideas that I'll happily try to integrate in my reef keeping, and I hope that this will help our viewers as well.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll try to be back in a few months, maybe towards the end of the year, just to check in on the progress. And should anybody have any questions, write them in the comments below, and we'll make sure to answer them.